All right, welcome back, team. This is episode 17 of the Southend podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today, I'm with as always, with my business partner / mate, Jacob Holt. And
Were you business partner first, then mate, or mate, then business partner?
chronologically, or
Well, yeah, it was mate first.
yeah,
Or probably more business partner than mate now, at least.
yeah, especially as we don't live anywhere near each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is good, though, having a mate as a business partner.
yeah, I think it helps. Well, I don't know if it always helps with all businesses, but it helps with us, I think.
Yeah, because it just makes it more fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, episode 17 today, guys. We are going to talk about coaching. Coaching is one of the most, or if not the most important parts of our product, our business. Who Southend is as a brand. It all stems from our coaching team, our principles around coaching, and what we try and achieve. So without that, we have a very different business, maybe non-existent, I would say. But you've been a coach for quite a while, mate. You were a PT first, and then you've been CrossFit coaching for about
yeah. I guess
9 years or so.
Yeah, PT and coaching. Yeah, it'd be 20 years this year.
Yeah, flex.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a flex or not, to be honest.
But you've probably done thousands of sessions, probably thousands of classes as a CrossFit coach, would you say, at this stage after 9 years or so?
Yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah. I started coaching, must have been about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe.
Is it?
4 years, maybe 4.
Yeah, okay.
Business owner for 2 years.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe about 4 years ago, something
Yeah.
like that. I actually just coached on the weekend, but I usually don't coach now because we have such a good team at Maroubra. And that's the plan, to keep developing that team.
A flex.
It's a bit of a flex.
Because that's one of the hardest things, I think, as a gym owner, particularly in the CrossFit space, to get to. Like, how many gyms do we know? Which, not many.
Yeah.
I was just literally speaking to a guy on the phone who owns a CrossFit box up Northern Beaches, and he's doing 23 hours a week.
Yeah, okay.
And he wants to get to a point where he's similar to you.
Yeah, at least having the choice whether you want to do it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I think we have such a good team at Maroubra, and the Shell Harbour's just a little bit further back in the journey, just because of the amount of time we've had it for, which is less. But I could give more hours to our current coaches and still not have a space for me, even if I really wanted to, sort of thing. Obviously, I could take it if I wanted, but that's kind of where it's at. But I think going back to what you said about CrossFit gyms, I think maybe sometimes it's like a badge of honor almost. Do you think, like the coaching thing, or do you think it's like a not being able to let it go? Or
so I think a lot of box owners come in as a coach, so that's their main thing they're like, say, good at, or they're a really good athlete and then they start coaching, so they're sort of like this gun in the gym. Usually, like, I'm not talking about myself here, but other owners are like the fittest people in the gym, and then, technically, I guess the main coach as well. That's kind of their identity. So then a lot of ego surrounds that by decision making, maybe of bringing coaches in, or even a lack of confidence in feeling the business side of the gym. So that's where a lot of the issues, I think, come from in the gym industry. It's just people coming into they start this business because they want to coach and because they want to train more hours of the day because of a lifestyle.
Yeah.
They don't realize that it's a business.
Yeah, it's not the
a
part that
business
moves the
needs to
needle.
make money, and it needs to function by itself. Otherwise, it's not going to last very long. And then a lot of gyms then go down the same route as the owner, getting spread too thin, coaching too many hours, training all day. That leads to not a lot of the back end getting done, the gym not progressing, their patients being thinned out. Then they start getting short with members, and then they're not spending enough money because they're not bringing in enough money. Members get pissed off,
Yeah.
and then people
Like-
start to leave.
It's a proper snowball
Yeah.
effect. And then you end up going backwards and you probably have to pick up more hours to cover the cost, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we have such a good team of coaches. And how many do we have in total now? Probably across both gyms, it must be 18.
Yeah, sounds
Quite a
about
lot,
right.
huh?
Yeah.
Quite a lot. Obviously, some do a lot more hours than others.
Yeah.
Some that's their main job, and then others that's their kind of passion job as well.
Yeah.
Why do you think coaching is so important for CrossFit? Like if we compare it to, obviously we can easily say a difference between a 24-hour gym. Like there's no coaching there unless you buy a PT session with them. There's also like in between gyms that that have a coaching element, but there's a reason why CrossFit coaching is designed to be different, right? What do you think that is? Is it like the extra detail? Is it because there is high level skills, but there's also low level skills? Do you think that's why it demands more out of the coaches?
Yeah, it's the difficulty of movement being prescribed into the classes. So if we got Olympic lift with a clean and jerk, or if we're even doing even a kip and pull up, just having your generic coach there is going to struggle with that kind of complexity. And it also attracts more of a high level coach, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Because of that complexity. So a really high level coach is going to get pretty bored of coaching box jumps, burpees, doing meters on the bike erg, kettlebell swings. Even though they all need technique,
Yeah.
there's just not a lot of growth in that.
Yeah.
Whereas like one of our coaches, Zoe, she's going to be Commonwealth Games in not long, is it? And she's spending 4 weeks with her coach because she wants to work on her technique, and
Yeah.
she's at like the pinnacle of
Yeah.
the sport. So you can never get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there an argument that maybe sometimes the Olympic lifts are a little bit too advanced for some coaches in the CrossFit space, potentially? But they've definitely got, in general, a good understanding of movement, and you need a good what we call coach's eye.
Yeah.
Which is seeing a movement, quickly evaluating that movement with the person who's doing it, if it is like a squat clean, and then trying to address the key positions they need to work on, whether it's from a safety perspective or just moving more efficiently.
Yeah.
When you started coming into coaching, because you came not from like a traditional fitness background, was that something which you found challenging, that sort of coach's eye kind of thing? Having like 5 to 10 people in front of you, and then you've got to quickly evaluate, I need to go to this member here.
Yeah, I think because there's so many factors in the class in terms of like there's multiple different people, there's the time domain, you have to get through a certain amount of people, a certain amount of things in the session as well. That's definitely a factor. But I think that's just something that develops with experience. Like even today, I would get a little bit nervous, like coaching.
Yeah.
But right at the start, I was shit scared for sure. But it's literally just the reps of doing it over and over again that you get more in tune to like seeing similar things go wrong with a technique multiple times across people, and you try and just find the approach that's the simplest to understand, but also like the quickest route to getting an improvement. Because that's what that feedback. Like if you give someone a very small and basic cue and it makes sense, it clicks in their head.
Yeah.
Maybe you show it to them, or maybe you use a more experienced athlete as a example.
Yeah.
And then it clicks for this person in the next rep that they do. That feedback loop is the best way, I think, to bring that through more and more members.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But yeah, it's I just think it's an experience thing. Like the more you do it, the better you get at it, and then you learn what mistakes people make commonly, and that's probably the best place to start. And then each person, depending on their body type or shape or limitations.
That's
they'll have something
important, isn't it? But
specific.
everyone's different.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
everyone looks different, moves different, has different mobility issues,
Yeah,
background of injuries, and so on.
yeah,
When I was driving up today, I was kind of thinking about like what would be our ideal coach or sort of traits we look for in a coach. Because I
mm.
would say majority of our coaches have similar traits. Is there
Yeah.
a few traits you think, like, say, if you were hiring for another coach for Maruba or something like that, it'd be a couple of traits you'd be like, it's important they have these.
Yeah, so if I use Maruba as an example for selecting coaches, every single one, including myself, was a member first. And that's pretty much been a blanket rule across Southend until recently for different reasons at Shell Harbour. But there's kind of like a nuance to that. But that would be the first thing, because they're already in the community, they're integrated, they know how we operate um, as humans, how the gym operates, and then they can actually make that transition into coaching. Either they already had coaching experience or they want to try start coaching. At least they know like the culture of the gym first. That was a big one for us, I think. And then just like their personality, that's a huge thing. Not all of them are the same, of course. Everyone's so different. But if they all have like similar values in terms of like being a nice person, they don't have to be a super bubbly, like outrageous person or anything all the time. But if you can see that they're a genuinely nice person, easy to talk to, very reasonable, that sort of thing, that's definitely going to go a long way in terms of when they go into a professional aspect, from my opinion.
Yeah, I think we try to do that, don't we? We're like, this is the general structure of how we want you to provide the class. We have a few things we want them to tick off, don't we? Like to go round to each member and speak to each member, either a tip or some sort of training cue, or even just checking in to see, which
Yeah.
sounds like an obvious and easy thing to do. But if you have 22 people in a class, can be quite challenging to
Yep.
just distribute your time there. So that's like an important thing. But then once they've sort of ticked those off, it's like then express like your personality, push that
Yeah.
into the class.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you want to do the warm up a little bit differently, or you want to add a particular element into there, then do that. And how you explain it, as long as you're following like the general structure of a class and expressing that bit of personality.
Yeah.
And I think like not pigeonholing people is like it's been good for just from the enjoyment of coaching. Like I know from my perspective when I started coaching CrossFit, if someone was like, you have to coach it like this and you can't do it like this,
Yeah.
it would have definitely stifled me.
Yeah.
Because being in the gym's supposed to be fun, right? You
Yeah.
you obviously were there to train, get stronger, get fitter, but you also want it to be an enjoyable experience. And if members are enjoying being in the gym, they're more likely to come back, right? So if they're coming
Yeah.
into the class and they love the coach because coach is very engaging, knowledgeable, can be funny sometimes, and so on, that just adds to the whole experience.
Yeah. Members will notice if you're enjoying the session. And in my experience, if I'm enjoying
Yeah.
coaching the session,
Yeah.
it makes it way more enjoyable and sustainable
Yeah.
for myself.
Yeah. And seeing like they generally care, and they're actually like enthusiastic about what we're doing today.
Yeah.
And it also correlates, right? So that's where the programming side needs to be engaging for coaches, because I've coached classes in other gyms where the programming's been shit basically, and it's hard to coach with enthusiasm when you've got this.
Yeah.
Like, I've changed them before. Like back in the day when I was coaching at Kia Cab before I was like an owner and stuff, I used to coach on a Friday Arvo, the Arvo classes, and the previous owner, not Darren, but the other owner, was programming, And I just used to change it, which is actually, when I look back, actually really quite disrespectful. But
Yeah.
I just used to, because it just used to be crap. I was just like, this is so
Yeah.
boring, and like, so I just used to like write down different strength pieces in a workout. People seem to like it. But imagine a coach doing that now at our gym.
Yeah. They don't need to.
I know that
Yeah.
it would be.
And they have enough license to give feedback to us if it needed to change as well.
Yeah, we wouldn't let it get it to
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah. I mentioned that almost all, or historically, our coaches would have come as members first, and that there's been really good success with that at Maroubra, and the same thing for Shell Harbour until a couple of people recently, which we'll get onto. But when on the one occasion we didn't do it at Maroubra, it didn't quite work out in the end, and it was a good lesson. Nothing seriously bad or anything. It just didn't pan out long term sustainably. So it's definitely a good lesson for us. But also wanted to touch on, we have one coach now at Shell Harbour, Charlotte, who wasn't a member previously, but in her instance, we have someone that's come from a gym owner background in terms of her family owned a gym in country New South Wales, I believe. So she's been part of that CrossFit gym culture since she was a young kid. And then you go through the personality check as well, like taking her ability aside as a athlete, which is very obvious. Everyone knows she's a good CrossFit athlete. She had to pass the personality test first, right? Like, just speaking to her, you can tell she's really, her main goals were that she really loved this. Like, she grew up doing this in her family gym, like I said. And you can really tell that she cares about the results of the people in the gym. Even being a professional athlete, like, you can really see that authenticity when she talks about how she wants members to achieve. So you can probably give an update on how that's going for the Shell Harbour gym, because the remainder of the coaches there were all previous members at one stage and moved into coaching, and she would be the first that isn't.
Yeah, it's one of the things that fires me up is trying to get a coaching roster full of absolute weapons, and we've got amazing coaches in Maroubra already, and we've always have, to be honest. But down in Shell Harbour, we're starting to develop a pretty crazy coaching roster now, which is like, I'd put it up there. You know what I mean? Like the strength and depth in there is getting pretty hectic. Where like the morning and Arvo classes, the members have like extremely high level coaching and expertise, and then with the personality and the sort of the fit. We're quite lucky. We needed some more coaches in Shell Harbour, definitely, but we also wasn't desperate. So I was quite lucky when we came in, but we already had a really good sort of coaching base.
Shitloads of experience.
So I came in and I have been coaching more. And my plan is to remove myself. I'm still this week I'm doing 5 classes, so we're getting close. But the coaching base was good already. So what I mean by that is that I didn't have to go out and, like you said, bring someone in, just like start advertising and try and bring someone in that way. I'd rather, if I can, organically do it, like we have done in Maroubra. So we kind of put a few feelers out, and then Charlotte, it was actually your brother, wasn't it? You said I reached out to Charlotte, and then we spoke to her, and a lot of the time I'll just go off gut. Like the person we're talking about in Maroubra before, my gut was telling me could, like, nothing bad, but just knew that it wasn't 100% right fit. And then this one, I kind of just, you just kind of tell, man. Like when you've been in the industry for so long, you just kind of know when someone just gets it.
Yeah.
Like,
and we had a bit of proof as well. Like you said, my brother has trained with her, and
multiple people.
Yeah.
Like multiple people know her at the gym already, know Charlotte, have met her and stuff. So I kind of just knew. And then I spoke to her on the phone. And that kind of reinforced it. And then we met at the gym and then chatted for a bit. And it was a big win that for the gym.
Yeah.
So when we get someone like Charlotte who doesn't need a coach, she's already got a job. with LSKD and then trying to become a professional athlete, CrossFit athlete. So she doesn't need to coach, which is great.
Yeah.
But now she's doing Tuesday mornings all the way through 5 till 1 at the moment. And it's been amazing having the members love her. But one of the main things when you have like a high level athlete like she is already, the advanced guys and girls like her anyway because there's already that respect, right?
Mm.
Like she can already snatch more than most, pretty much the most in the gym almost,
Yeah.
already. But she understands that the affiliate is all about the beginners. Without the beginners, we don't have an affiliate.
Yeah.
And that's what I got from her straight away. And to have both sides of that is very rare, I feel.
Yeah.
To be a high level athlete and then obviously technique and cues she can give, high level cues to the already experienced members. But she knows that the main focus is all on the beginners.
Yeah, having the time.
It's a beautiful balance between the both. And what I also love is that, to be honest, like if I had to choose a style of coach, it would mainly be a female coach for CrossFit. Because a lot of the time we're trying to get over this intimidation factor, right?
Yeah.
Like we talk about all the time, like how do we get people across from these other gyms to try CrossFit?
Yeah.
If they're intimidated and scared and all these animals throwing weights around.
Yeah.
But if you have someone who we come in and we're trying to get them in there to a beginner sort of program or class or something like that, and like you got someone like Charlotte who's coaching, it sort of just brings down that intimidation factor straight away.
Yeah.
Just being like just a bit more compassionate and softer.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Whereas if you got a super jack dude coaching in a tight t-shirt, you know what I mean, with a stern face,
Yeah.
it's like straight away you're like, oh, I'm not sure about this place. So those first, and like, we have guys coaching, but all our guys coaches are pretty sort of like Shannon and Troy and Ben are quite soft around the edges.
Yeah. Yeah. Same
Jordan
as
could
at
smile a
Maruba,
bit
right?
more, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Same as at Maruba, our male coaches, like just let no ego, very humble
Yeah,
people.
like Gabe. Gabe's
Yeah.
a perfect example
Yeah.
of that, right?
Yeah, he's an animal. He's pretty jacked as well, but you wouldn't if you.
He's so soft. Like
Yeah.
you walk in and like people feel comfortable within his presence straight away.
Yeah.
And that's a key component, I think, of like being a good coach.
Yeah. And we do get a lot of people asking us to coach, like from outside the gym. But we just don't really have the space for it. Like we always say to them, like we hire from within.
Yeah.
The roster's pretty full at the moment, but even regardless, we hire from within, and that's actually how, for example, someone like Gabe started.
Yeah.
He actually worked with my wife when they both first got to Australia from Brazil, however long that is, 7 years ago or something. And so she was in contact with him, and eventually we didn't actually need an extra coach at the time, and it was just happening that he was moving to the area, and she explained to him that like we only hire coaches from members so we can know who they are and make sure they fit the community. And then like last week he coached, I don't know, 12 classes or something. Like,
yeah, with a full-time job
yeah,
as well.
with a full-time job as well. So, and everyone loves him. Like he's there every Saturday coaching. So
yeah. It's also the level we set now though, right? We can't just bring in, like I was thinking this the other day with Shell Harbour bringing in new coaches. I was just like, we bring in someone like Charlotte, and then we got Jules starting next week, Julia Hannaford, who's very extremely high level. She's coaching me at the moment as well, and like she's unreal. So like it's setting that standard for the members now. If we bring on a new coach, they got to be hitting. Like you don't have to be in a high level athlete, obviously, but you've got to be definitely hitting areas, and we can't be just bringing in anyone
to fill hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's important to us, isn't it?
For sure, yeah. And I think it all comes back to, like, you can probably gather from this that we have a wide variety of people who have become coaches for us, and I'm so stoked with our whole team across both gyms. And that comes with all different approaches, personalities, all that sort of things. And the one thing that we implemented, it's probably been about 14, 15 months now that we've had our very first coach's handbook. And from there, we've added a couple of extra things like the checklist that you were referencing before, which is kind of like a quick version of that on like how to run a session, basically, like what the main minimum standards that we want in each session. That's been able to be like a reference point, making sure it's almost like an agreement. Like they read our coach's handbook. It sets our values and standards for who we are, what we want to achieve, and what we expect of them. And then the checklist is kind of, like I said, like a quick tick for how the perfect hour would go for our members. And that's been like the aligning factor to bring all these different experience levels, personalities, male, female, elite athletes, regular athletes, all be able to deliver a really good product along our brand, but allowing them to have their own flair on it as well.
Yeah, it's consistency, right? It's that consistency across the classes. You see it sometimes in gyms where, like, it was definitely in Shell Harbour like this before it came, where people would say, like, I need to know who's coaching when because I like so-and-so's coaching, or I want to be in their classes. And I get that, but we want to get to a point where every class is the same.
Yeah.
Every class is like a high level.
Yeah.
Is like personalities obviously will be different, but you'll get them the same product.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where that sort of checklist gives that consistency.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we've improved on over time at Maroubra.
Yeah.
And it's definitely something in Shell Harbour, which is definitely, I'm hearing less and less of that.
Yeah.
Now.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Which is where we want to be, right?
Yeah.
It's like people's like, oh, can you put like the coaches on the classes and
Yeah.
stuff like that? It's like we don't want to go down that road just because it's not about that. It's about just coming in and you're getting Southend coaching as a product, and then just Zoe's taking it, Beck's taking it, Cole's taking it, Gabe's taking it, and then they have their own personalities.
Yeah.
And it will be coaches you connect with more. That's just
of course.
natural.
Same as general life, right?
But it should be delivered the same.
Yeah. And you'll be able to progress your abilities no matter who you have.
Yeah.
And you can see that across all every class hour. There's people in each one that have come leaps and bounds from where they were.
Yeah, some of the things I think about like coaching, what I hate is just cheering. I hate like coaches, like when I was coming up here, I was thinking like, what do we like as a coach? And like one of the things I don't like as a coach is just like cheerleading, you know, just like, come on guys, you got this. Like you need that sometimes, but when it's like all you do, or like really like cheesy shouting, I prefer like more slightly introverted, I guess, coaches who are more like sort of trying to deliver some useful information more like one-on-one or in small group settings rather than just being loud for the sake of being loud.
Yeah.
And we've had coaches before who have just fucking dancing in my classes. They're just fucking dancing. And I'm like, let's do less dancing.
Any ability?
Yeah, no ability.
It's not even good dancing.
Like, let's do less dancing. Let's do more coaching.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't dance.
Yeah.
Or, like, don't dance and sing. They're not here for that. Let's go in and try and help someone with a bit of technique.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's a cool thing to build a team of amazing coaches, isn't it? Like it's not something that I actually, when I first started or was coming into being an owner, I thought I was just going to be like, I'll be one of the main coaches and there'll be other coaches as well. It's not something that I envisioned right at the start anyway, that like leading this team and then giving them a platform to be like this awesome team of coaches. And like from my perspective, and I believe you agree with me, that I don't want to be the best coach. No way. And I'm not. I want my team to be like them, to be the face of the gym. They're the people that the members see first. They're the ones that they deal with. They know all their life problems. They know their abilities in the gym. They're the people that actually, they're like the heart of the gym. That's what I want. I want our team to flourish like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, you want it to a point where like someone comes to you with a question and you're like, I'm going to speak to so-and-so to help you out.
Yeah.
Like we had it yesterday. One of the members speaking to me about what was it, toaster bar or something. I was like, I'm gonna reach out to Lydia. Lydia's the person you want to speak to about this. And lean on her expertise because of her gymnastics background. And that's what you kind of want across the board, where they're not like, obviously you can help them with cues and stuff, but it's like you said, we don't want to be the best coaches, and we're not. And like as we develop, I want us to like coming down the list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Like get to a point where like,
Yeah.
fuck, are we even good enough to be coaching in this
Yeah.
gym almost?
Yeah. I think that's an awesome goal. Like if you're the best coach as the owner, then you're probably, it definitely shouldn't stay that way. And there's a way to make sure that's not the case in 12 months' time or something.
Yeah, and I think that's been a shift. I know for me particularly, I'm not sure for you, but shift in my mindset from trying to be a high level coach to being, no, I want us to have a successful business
Yeah.
and the longevity of these gyms to stay around for 10, 20, however long we want them to stay around for.
Yeah.
And me being the best coach isn't going to really help that or move a needle on that. Me
Yeah.
trying to develop the business, that's what's going to move the needle. So
Yeah.
that's been a bit of a shift.
100%. And it like I said, I coached on Sunday. I loved it. It was sick.
Bit of dancing.
I don't think I danced. No, maybe a couple of jokes.
Two-step.
But it felt a little bit different on a Sunday because I didn't particularly have any like other work that I was planning on doing anyway. So it kind of felt like it was a day off anyway. So I didn't have that feeling of like I've got so much stuff to do today, and I was just able to enjoy it, which is a little bit different to a weekday, for example, if you're coaching. But anyway, I was like, fuck, this is so good. Like, do I really want to not do this all the time? But I need to remind myself of the bigger picture, and like what the most joy I get out of it is seeing the members be stoked with their session and love the coaches, and also giving the coaches their job. And the more we're able to build this Southend brand and which we will keep expanding, like this creates careers for some of these people, right? That definitely fires me up and drives me to bring the team along with us.
Yeah, and it puts more. I feel like it puts more pressure on us as well, because if we're more people coming in, we got to keep making sure we know where we're going for one, and we'll keep improving the business and making sure there is enough revenue coming in.
Yeah,
so we can pay these people.
Yeah, don't fuck this up. This is people's fucking jobs.
Yeah, it's getting to that point. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That fires me up as well.
Yeah, it's a good motivator for sure. But yeah, I love our team, and that's like very grateful and proud of them for like what they bring to our community.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes they're tired. They're doing lots of classes. Maybe there's a challenge they can't necessarily overcome from, I don't know, outside the gym, but they're there showing up for it. So definitely proud of.
Yeah, without them, we definitely couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I know. Like, take the coaches down in Shell Harbour, they're definitely like, I know if I ring, Alicia, Troy, Ben, Jordan, whoever it is, they will go out their way to help us out when we need it and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's the core. It's a glue, isn't it?
100% it is.
The community. So
yeah, very grateful for him. Is there anything else you wanted to add on the coaching standpoint?
No, don't think so, mate. Talked about the dancing. I hate all the coaches be dancing now in the stories, isn't it?
Yeah, just to take the piss out of us. Yeah, yeah. No, that's basically it. We just want to thanks to all our coaches for sure. Thanks for what you do for our members, and we look forward to bringing you with us on this journey of Southend onto the next decades.
Sounds good.
Cool. Thanks for listening, team. On to the next one.